Hello, and I'm Rob Smith. This is Smith in the Black with the weekend vid, and we're not going to waste too much time today because we got a whole bunch of nothing burgers going on. So SPY goes inside day. So we got the sub try here, your slight higher high and your lower low down here. So the question is, what do we do with this inside day? Do we drop back in through this stuff, or do we go blasting up into the greater triumph up in here? Because we know that the monthly ain't nowhere near not being an inside month, right? That's going to be a problem for a while here. Potentially, depending on what happens. Let's get that, shrink that down for you. How are we going to get out of here? How are we going to get out of here? So then each week, we want to see the weeklies. Which side of that do we start to take out? Right now, we're like in the middle of the week in a really tight week. So the question is here once again, do we start racing up through here, or do we go 2-2 back down and take that out? So it's going to be a whole bunch of evaluating during the week, how many weeks are getting taken out to the upside, how many weeks are getting taken to the downside, and even if that works, are they anywhere near taking out monthly highs or lows? So we're nowhere near doing that. QQQ, similar, a little bit closer to going 2 back down, but on the month, nowhere near taking that out. That's a problem. All right, so most people don't even look at. Most traders don't even look over a daily chart, something over a daily chart. We do, and we know that that's a problem. And on the daily, here, another inside day. We got a ton of those, right? So you can see here, slight higher high, lower low. Do we come down through this, or do we go up through that? That's what we're going to let them open. Apple a little worse, but not too bad. So you can see here the slight higher high up into there, and then this comes down and takes that out. So this is a tight broadening formation in here, right? So do we expand that and come down through this, or do we take this out and go 2-2 on a Monday and try and come up through that? If you go to your monthly here, how are you not going to be an inside month? Right now you're red and coming down. If you go to the weekly, here, closer to being a 2 up by taking out the high, and then 2 down by taking out the weak. So that could have a few things to say. If we go to small cappers, doji on the week, slight 2 up, and once again, how are you not going to be an inside month? So we're going to keep watching all these things as they move along. TLT, also opening as an inside month. If you go to the weekly, see this, just a slight 2 down, but all this tight range stuff, not good. So we get a VXX here, and VXX still trying to melt down, and that's could be a good thing for the market, but we'll see. I mean, that's what it does, especially when the market's doing nothing, because the VXX and VIX products and the VIX itself are priced off of what people are willing to pay for options, and if the market's not doing anything, you don't really need to buy protection, and then this will erode. So if we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, look at this. All right, so then we go to the weekly. Right dead in the middle. How do we take this week out? And you can see here we got our lower lows. We're going to go after that or not, we don't know, because that. It's brutal. Welcome to the summer. IBM, a little bit different of a story. You got an inside month to the upside, right? So it hits slight magnitude on that, but we'll keep an eye on that because it is inside month and up. Not much else to see over there. You do have Disney as an inside day, and there's going to be a ton of inside days, and so we'll just let them break. If we go to trannies, inside day IYT, week, how are you going to take you this side? Look at this tight range, doing nothing. In the month, how are you going to get outside of that? So if anything, you got UPS here, potential hammer 2-2 back up to the upside above 184.61. So we can keep an eye on that. FAS is doing nothing. It's doing nothing. So you hear me say let them open, especially in this situation, because we can expect some back and forth until we're not inside months. And then we're going to be looking for things that aren't. Let's go to crude. Oh, yeah. USO still going. And that gets us our Nirgu. Get boy, because we know on the macro vids we have all this stuff. Still an inside month, but and 3 days and stuck in here, right? But crude just keeps rallying, and so from the macro vid we know to stay on it. Here's your XLE, still 3 days and stuff there. However, closer to taking out that 2 to the upside on the month, right? No lower lows this year on the monthly XLE OIH. Here on the month, 2 down and potential to 2 down, 2 up over this. 308 831, right? So Exxon, so what we're seeing here, we'll go back to that XLE for a second. If you go to that weekly, you're going to see this, the Momo Hammer, right? They tried to hit it, couldn't do it. Anybody who got short this week, it's like, I think it's going to roll over. We take this out. It's exhaustion risk by going into the highs, but anybody got short here thinking that crude and everything's going to roll over, gets jammed if we can take that out. And we know that we have real buyers in there because we've had them all year. Exxon going to look like that. Momo Hammer, Chevron here a little bit. PXD, just to go down the line. PXD a little bit more closer to the middle of the range. Conoco here, Momo Hams, and off she goes. EOG here, a little bit closer, taking the 2 up. Then if you go to the OIH's slab, a little bit closer to the middle of the range, so we'll be careful on that. Halliburton, same deal, hammered up there. If we go to NOV still trying to get out of this stuff in here, right? And if you go to the monthly, here, you got the rev strap, 1, 2, 2, get NOV. If we go to the refiners, PSX, just taking out last month's highs, still going. And the weekly, it's like I said, exhaustion risk. But they so far they aren't stopping. And NEX here, and NEX taking out last month's highs here. And one of the things that we've been looking at all years is stuff like NEX or whatever that you go, this thing's been a lot higher in the past. And energy and crude oil's at 120. All right, so that's what we call it. Used to be something we want to know about. WTI. Good. So this thing's been higher too. So we just keep going there. And how about Oxy's doing there? Oxy's still kind of stuck here. So we'll see. They trade off a little bit. Oxy a little bit closer to 2 down, but we'll see. Chopped them up, but good in here, but nowhere near taking that out, right, when he did this, right? And that's why when you get in here, you'll see this 2 down by taking out the lows, 2 up, boom, right? Then you can let them chop around up in here, if we take a longer-term position, because you're nowhere near taking you out, right? Let these guys get killed. And then when we had that 3-2-2 on almost everything here, boom, you can add to it, right? If it starts coming down here, you can cut that add, but you're still lowering your costs from here, all right? So if we go to XRT Retail, yuck, inside week, and once again, inside month. If we go to the Walmart, Walmart had a rough one, and you can see this clear as day, the higher high, the lower low, like so. How do we get out of this month? Well, to start the week off would be Rev Strat week to the downside. Right, now this is called a mother bar because there was a 1. Anytime you have a 1, whatever's previous to that is a mother bar. But now you go inside week, poke up, and now potential rev strat 1, 2, 2, and repuke this thing. But these 2 bars become a 2-week inside pattern. So if you take this out, that's a compound 1 to the upside. But we'll see. We'll get a lot of work over there. Target inside week. So we'll see after the big debacle, and once again these monthlies. Still going to be an issue here and how we get out of this stuff. If we go to Costco also would be rev strat week to the downside. Pokes its head up, then potentially comes back down. Mother bar issue in here. We will see. And once again, I say mother bar issue, I'm like, monthly, how are we going to get out of this? All right? How are we going to do that? All right? So it could be a meandering summer. Hopefully not, but we'll see. GameStonk. Also a little bit closer to taking out that monthly high, and that'd be rev strat 1, 2, 2 to the upside. And on the week, you got an inside week. If they want to go memeing back up, go mooning. If we go to TJ Maxx is an inside week. Real chop in here, so be careful. In KSS, also inside week, but we'll take that with a grain of salt. If we go to SMH. So SMH a little bit closer to being 2 up, 2 down, but you can see this chop in here, right? And the good thing for SMH is if it starts to rally, you're closer to that 2-2 reversal on the month. We actually took it out, but then backed off. If you go to XLK, yeah, nowhere near taking that out. That's going to be like Microsoft and Apple. Nowhere near taking those out. So that's a bit of an issue. If we go to Facebook on the month, opening is an inside month. Still having some issues here. And if we go to the week, here, chop. Look at this. Not doing much. Like a lot of scalping in there, and it's going to start off the week as an inside day, like so many things. Amazon here inside day. And Amazon, the good part for Amazon would be this. You are closer to taking this monthly hammer back to the upside, right? That's going to be over 250. Well, it's going to split, so we'll change that and we'll let that split. Netflix, ugh. Doge doing nothing. Go to the weekly here, just chopping around the lows and still doing nothing. If you go to Google was a little better. It had a 2-week up to the upside, but this monthly, dead in the middle. How are you going to get out of there? NVIDIA, how are you going to get out of this? And you're starting off Monday as an inside day. If we go to Autodesk, the hopes here, as you can see this, the higher high, the lower low, right? So the hopes would be you take this out, your weekly, Doge, 322, and start puking through here. So we'll see, we'll let it open. If we go to SQ, inside day, inside week, and once again, monthly, nowhere near taking that out. So we do have those inside bars to keep an eye on. AMAT, inside week, so watch out with the SMH. W day, inside week here to see how that goes. DBX, a little better. DBX, Dropbox actually took the month. 2 down, 2 up. You can see you stop these guys out. Boom, then 2-2 reversal. So for the rest of the month, I'll know about this about 22.43 as long as it's above that. Go to AMD. AMD also took the month here, about 104.55, right? And it's still there, right? So that's the SMHs start going, Qs can start. Adobe or AMAT's got it, or AMD's got it. Adobe also trying to work that month, and that's 428.55. You're slightly above that, but now you got an inside day. How are we going to get out of this thing, right? If we go to Roblox inside day, and we know how she loves the puking, but here, once again, monthly, the issue. No, when you're taking that out. Go to Okta, and inside month, it's green on the month, but the only things we do is we stay on these gappers for more than a day. It's real close to being a 2-2 reversal to the downside and filling that gap come Monday morning. So you can keep an eye on that. Just a couple more. If we go to NEE, one of the few, the proud. The 3-2-2 monther, all right? So that's the broadening formation because it's a 3-bar, outside bar. So above this, 77.45 gets my attention for the rest of the month. If you go to AI, that was another gapper that kept going, gave us the 2 down, 2 up. Right, and if this continues to work, we'll keep an eye on this monthly because you can see what they've done to this thing, and a 2-2 month reversal over 20.09. Right, so you're almost there. If we go to CRSP, that's a 2-2 month here over 59.42. You're there right now. Nice little rally there, 64.21. If we go to Medtronics, you get some exhaustion risk because you're going into these recent lows, but you're taking out last month's lows, and that always gets my attention by taking out the monthly highs or lows, it's been lower. So we'll keep an eye on that because here was pandemic, and then it went all the way up to here. Now it's coming all the way back. So we'll see what they want to do to that. If we go to Tesla's still an inside month, but getting a little bloodier red here, right? So if we go to the week, it's closer to the 2 up by taking these guys out, but then 2 down because you're almost red on the lows, and then we can get the outside bar compound of all these guys. So Tesla could be in trouble. We'll see how that goes. So, like I said, there's a lot of wait and sees. There's always going to be, we're willing to go either way. We just got to see what kind of breaks we have on the weeklies, and then can they do the monthlies? All right, that's going to do it for this week. Rob Smith, Mr. Black, the weekend ahead.